Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Omar Badsha with a request that you confer on him the degree Doctor of Philosophy honoris causa. The decision by Council and Senate to award him this degree has been taken on the grounds of the following considerations. Through the lens of his camera, distinguished documentary photographer Omar Badsha has for many years advanced history teaching and learning by chronicling the stories of ordinary people who have made extraordinary contributions to achieve a democratic, non-racial, and just South African society. Spurred into political activism after the 1960 Sharpeville massacre, the young Badsha became a key player in trade unionism in the 1970s. As the founding secretary of the Chemical Workers Industrial Union and an active member of the Natal Indian Congress, this native Durbanite took up photography to document work-related injuries at chemical plants and illustrate the history of the trade union movement. The self-taught artist has since proved himself a leader in shaping social documentary photography in South Africa. This he, amongst others, achieved as founder member of the independent photographic agency and collective Afropex, which did pioneering work in documenting the popular struggles of the 1980s. In addition, he served as the head of the photography unit of the Second Carnegie Commission on Poverty and Development, and founded the University of Cape Town's Center of Documentary Photography. Dames en heren, toch is dit met sy bekroonde, onpartydige volksgeskiedenisprojek South African History Online, of SAHU, wat Omar Badsha hom vir ewig in ons bewussyn inprent. Hierdie uitgebreide aanlyn ensiklopedie van Suid-Afrikaanse en Afrika geskiedenis, die grootste in sy soort op die vasteland, gaan krities om met die verlede. SAHU bied ook innoverende onderrig, internskap en vennootskapsprogramme met skole, universiteite, museums en argiewe aan, en gaan sodoende voort om die onderrig, leer en popularisasie van geskiedenis te ondersteun. Met Badsha aan die stuur blink SAHU veral uit in jeugbemagtiging. Dit sluit in die gratis aflaaibare publikasie van die ganse skoolgeskiedenisleerplan, die ontwikkeling van onderwysers hulpbronne, die bekendstelling van die hoofman Albert Luthuli projek vir jong historici en 'n praktiese internskapprogram vir geskiedenis, inligtingstegnologie en ontwerpstudente. Op die manier bly huidige en toekomstige generasies bewus van hoe ver ons as 'n nasie en vasteland gevorder het en word hulle toegerus om kritiese en verantwoordelike burgers te wees. Having produced seminal publications such as the controversial volume of photographic essays, A Letter to Farzana in 1979, Image on Dolo in 1984, and South Africa, The Cordoned Heart in 1986, Badsha also continues to exhibit locally and internationally. His work has, amongst others, been acknowledged with a Lifetime Achievement Award for Visual Arts by the Department of Arts and Culture's Living Legends Project. Mr. Chancellor, I hereby request that you confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy honoris causa on Omar Badsha for his profound efforts as one of South Africa's great documentary photographers and as an activist and historian to chronicle the stories of ordinary people's extraordinary contributions to a democratic South African society. Through his craft, he continues to unlock our country's and our continent's past and will do so for many generations to come, equipping our youth to be engaged and critical citizens and putting us on course to the future we desire. I hereby ask you to confer this degree.
Very, very well done. I hereby confer on you Omar Badsha, the degree Doctor of Philosophy honoris causa.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great honor to propose a toast to Omar Badsha. I cannot think of a person more suited as a role model for our students and for ourselves. Omar is one of the most open-minded people I know, always curious, always informed, but absolutely uncompromising when it comes to his principles, foremost of which is the principle of justice. He's generous to a fault. He always gave and continues to give his art, his money, and here he's going to stop me to ask what money, and his seemingly inexhaustible energy to make South Africa a better place for everyone. Through his art, he has not only made us more historically aware, but also more compassionate. What distinguishes him as a documentary photographer above all other South African photographers is the compassion of his gaze. His work is always about the human, but never sensationalistic. There is nothing of the voyeur in him, because he is always in the thick of things. For these reasons and many more, I cannot think of anyone more deserving of this honor. So I'd like to raise a toast to Omar.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. My first degree I got was from a number of industrialists in Durban. I was a trade union organizer, and they called me the Red Indian. And so I wore that with great pride. But thank you very much to the university. I've never been to university, but I have all my life been very close to education, knowledge, production, running classes. As a trade unionist, we would organize at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the evening, we would have classes. And those classes were run by us, and it was involved a lot of academics, people like my very close friend Rick Turner, Alec Irvin, and many others. And it was then the power of knowledge, the university, and a period in which we felt that here we could begin to change things and bring people together, utilize the skills that we had in our industries, in our universities. And I always believe that's possible, and we are now facing a crisis. We've been in this crisis for a while now, but it's come to a head. And the only way we're going to move forward is by making sure that we begin to think outside the box and bring people together around a new national project. That new national project started, and it's taking its course. Lots of people who are my generation, who were in the liberation movement, are now standing in street corners and handing out pamphlets. My daughters would tell you about their mother, who was a former Director General, Deputy Director in Higher Education, and a veteran of the UDF also, now is part of a network which are challenging the state and the local state around a whole range of things. And that really is what is now making us again feeling that the space is open. the announcement about the court decision today is an absolutely incredible breakthrough. And Ngasana, the new, or who was in that position, is a son of a very close comrade of mine. We worked in the trade union movement, and I can tell you that this young man is not going to back down. He is now going to take the challenge and make things happen. I'm also part of what is called South African History Online. It's one of the biggest websites in the continent now, history website in the continent. And I'm hoping that we would work closer with you at Stellenbosch University. Already we have interns. Already I've started meeting people in the university. And I'm hoping that that partnership would grow. So with those few words, I must again say thank you very much for recognizing and giving me this honor, and I would carry it with a great deal of pride. Thank you.